Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Kaboly skeptical of robust trade market for Steelers TJ Watt, absolutely kidding yourself. If the Steelers ever explore trade offers for TJ Watt, they may come away disappointed. While it seems incredibly unlikely that they would take that path, it is fair to explore his hypothetical market. When trading for a veteran, even an elite one, age, compensation, and durability are extenuating circumstances. From that perspective, he has red flags in every column. Indeed, that's the reason people are even discussing a hypothetical Watt trade. Already over 30, with a prior injury history, and about to be one of the most highly compensated non-quarterbacks in NFL history, he comes with a lot of undesirable variables. Any acquiring team would still be gaining an elite, potentially difference-making player, but at a premium, and with risks. That's why Mark Kaboly questions what the Steelers could fetch in a TJ Watt trade, as he discussed on Monday. He also doesn't think there's any real worry about the team actually losing him. I just don't think there's a lot of market out there for somebody that wants a 31-year-old for $160 million, he said on 93.7 The Fan. Watt turns 31 in October for any team that would want to trade for him. While he has played all 17 games in the past 2 years, he dealt with cumulative nicks last season. In 2022, he missed extensive time due to injury. In discussing a Watt trade scenario, Kaboly pointed out that the Steelers acquired DK Metcalf for a second-round pick. Metcalf isn't quite on the same level, but he is a few years younger and more durable. If the Steelers hadn't had to give him a $150 million contract, it would have cost them a higher draft pick. Likewise, the Steelers' gain in a Watt trade will be capped by, well, cap considerations. Because his new team would have to sign him to a new contract likely topping $40 million APY. While his hosts seemed shocked, Kaboly thought their belief the Steelers could fetch a first-round pick for him was in fact far-fetched. What I'm saying is, a second-round pick, maybe for Watt in a trade scenario, Kaboly offered. If you're thinking a 1, a 2, and a 3 next year or something like that, you're absolutely kidding yourself. For Marshawn Lattimore and a 5th-round pick, the Commanders gave up 3rd-, 4th-, and 6th-round picks last year. The Chiefs gave up a 5th-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, the Bills a 3rd and 7th for Amari Cooper. The Jets added Davante Adams for a 3rd-round pick. Factoring in age and compensation, it would be hard to sell a team on parting with a first-round pick to trade for TJ Watt. Blockbuster trade pitch lands Bears $112 million DE for Godfather Hall. The Chicago Bears could prioritize a new edge rusher in the first few rounds of the 2025 NFL Draft next week, but the latest trade rumors surrounding one of the league's premier talents suggest there is one final call worth making. Last week, Pittsburgh Steelers superstar pass rusher TJ Watt spawned trade rumors when he posted a photo of himself flashing the "Peace Out" sign to his Instagram story. The implication, to some, is that Watt, whose $112 million contract ends after 2025, is signaling that he is unhappy with the progress made in negotiations with the team. If Watt does want out of Pittsburgh, Bleacher Report's Kurt Benkert believes the Bears could become one of his top suitors and even pitched a trade scenario in which they would give up multiple premium draft picks to acquire the 7-time Pro Bowler. The proposed trade would see the Bears send off their 2025 first-round pick, number 10, along with their 2026 first and second rounders to acquire Watt from the Steelers. They would then need to negotiate a new contract with Watt before the season, or at least find a way to lower his current $30 million cap hit in the final year of his deal. They can pay the man, and they have a quarterback on a rookie deal, which is super helpful. They've got a young team and they have an offensive coordinator that can actually do the thing in their new head coach, Benkert said. They need a guy that can get pressure. I think the Bears could be a problem, and they have the draft capital to do it. The Bears pulling off a trade for what would be a blockbuster in a league of its own, above even the 2018 trade they made to acquire All-Pro pass rusher Khalil Mack. Watt has been one of the NFL's most dominant defensive players over the past 8 seasons, recording 108 sacks and 225 quarterback hits in 121 starts for the Steelers. He won the league's Defensive Player of the Year award in 2021 and has finished as a Pro Bowl in each of his last 7 seasons, including in 2022 when he played just 10 games. If the Bears found a way to add him to their line opposite Montez Sweat and the newly signed Dayo Odeyingbo, he would provide them with a franchise-altering piece who would decisively smash open their Super Bowl window for the next few seasons. Watt is not a risk-free move, though. The Bears would likely have no problem paying the high-end trade cost for Watt if they believe they can get the 2023 version of him, 19 sacks, first-team All-Pro, but finding an agreeable contract extension price would present a significant challenge with them already heavily committed in their defensive trenches between Sweat and Odeyingbo. According to Over the Cap, the Bears will have a projected $54 million in cap space for the 2026 season, which is enough to make moves but likely not enough to pay Watt in the range of Myles Garrett's new deal, which reset the market at $40 million annually. Speaking of Garrett, the new trade rumors about Watt are similar to the ones about the Cleveland Browns superstar that dominated headlines earlier in the 2025 offseason. Will the two situations ultimately end the same way, too? Garrett officially requested a trade away from the Browns in early February, expressing a desire to compete for a Super Bowl elsewhere. Ultimately, after insisting they would not trade him, the Browns resolved Garrett's grievances and signed him to a 4-year, $160 million extension that will tie him to the team through the end of the 2030 season. The same could happen with the Steelers and Watt, although it is important to note that Watt has not requested a trade out of Pittsburgh despite his social media activity. For now, the Steelers have no reason to move urgently with Watt unless they feel they are at risk of alienating him by waiting until closer to the season to lock in a new deal. If they reach the other side of training camp in late August and do not have a new contract in place for Watt, though, they could force their star to consider holding out on them. Steelers T.J. Watt trade proposal bashed as disrespectful. T.J. Watt has been the talk of the town in the NFL with just 10 days until the NFL draft, with concerns about the star pass rusher being unhappy with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The concern started when Watt posted an image on social media of himself giving a peace sign. While some believe that was Watt issuing a farewell to the Steelers, others believed it was him applying some good old-fashioned external pressure on the Steelers to budge on contract negotiations. Regardless, trade rumors surrounding Watt in mid-April is not a good sign. Watt has previously stated he wants to remain with the Steelers, but as of late, he hasn't made any mention of his mindset moving forward. ESPN Radio's Chris Canty suggested that T.J. Watt should be dealt for San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. Responding to the idea on April 11's issue of First Take, 2-time Super Bowl champion Damien Woody called the idea disrespectful. "It's disrespectful to Brock Purdy, to be honest with you. Why in the world would the San Francisco 49ers, who, by the way, have been unloading guys off their roster because they know they have to pay the quarterback, why would you make that trade? It makes absolutely no sense," he said. Woody continued, "And, oh, by the way, for anyone who says Kyle Shanahan, he can go out here and plug and play any quarterback. We saw that with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think everyone on this panel would say that Brock Purdy is significantly better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think from all of this, we got to stop disrespecting Brock Purdy, because he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. If Watt were to end up in San Francisco, he'd be paired with Nick Bosa, which would be one of the most talented defensive tandems in league history. But it'd leave the 49ers without a quarterback. Being without a quarterback is a situation the Steelers know all too well, as they lost both of their quarterbacks last season to New York, Russell Wilson to the Giants and Justin Fields to the Jets. And now cross their fingers that someday, Aaron Rodgers will show up to play. And you fan? What do you think about T.J. Watt's situation? Write to us in the comments.